Hello everybody, I'm Ilsa and welcome back to Book Bar and welcome to my December mid-month wrap-up. How are we already halfway through the December? 2024 is vastly approaching, like it'll be here before I know it. It's crazy, insane, but we're gonna go ahead and get into the 18 books that I have read so far this month. I have had 2 DNFs, so 16 books that I've completed. And some of them are novellas because right now it is novella-thon. So, yeah, I'll talk about those when I get there. But the first book that I finished was Keep This Between Us by Albany Archer. This was an ARC that I received from the author, and it was fantastic. I loved it. This follows Bond and Tuesday. Weird names, but it's fine. It kind of explains Bond isn't his real name. He just goes by Bond. It's his middle name. He prefers it for some reason. And Tuesday, it explains why her name is Tuesday, and it's really depressing. But, yeah. Her name, so, he calls her Peaches. She calls him Baseball Cap. It's adorable. You know me, I love a good nickname in a romance book. But, so, Tuesday moves to this small town in New Mexico. And after she was like disgraced by her family and like forced out of her family company, and like her dad like bought this other small company, and she like is drowning her sorrows at a bar one night, and there she sees Bond, who is also drowning his sorrows because his family legacy has just been purchased by some big corporation, and they don't know this about each other, that they are actually going to be coworkers. And it was adorable. I really enjoyed it. Bond was dominant, but like he required like an enthusiastic yes. Like Tuesday couldn't just shake her head, like nod her head. She had to actually like say the words, yes, I want this. He was very much like into her saying yes, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was just a little bit like, I mean, it is a debut, so do know that going in, but it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. Then I read Even If It Hurts by Sam Mariano. I have a vlog, or I read 2 Even If It Hurts, where I will get to the other one. I gave this 3 stars. This was Aubrey and Dare. It's a bully romance. There's some non-con, dub-con type of situations. And yeah, I didn't love it. It was just not my thing. I go into like very full detailed thoughts in the vlog, but I just didn't love Aubrey or Dare. Like I never felt like I didn't feel like I felt the romance. So yes. Then I DNF'd The Song of the Marked. This wasn't that it was a bad book. I just was having a fine time. Like if I was going to finish it, it was probably going to get like 3 stars. And at this point in the year, I just don't care enough to continue. So yes. Then I listened to Let It Snow by Michelle Stimpson. This was a Black love novella, holiday novella on Audible, like an Audible original. I was just scrolling through, like looking for good, like fun holiday Christmassy romances, just wanting something, a palate cleanser after I DNF'd and after I finished Even If It Hurts. And it was cute. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It's Nia, who is a teacher and is trying to go to Jamaica for the Christmas break, and Andrew, who is a vet, and he's heading home to Miami, where his brother is now dating his ex-girlfriend, and his family like gives him like sad looks, and he's just like not about it. He's like, he doesn't want to go home. He doesn't want to go visit them. And they end up being snowed in at the airport together, and it was adorable. It was like they end up it was like Christmas Eve, and so they made Christmas morning like magical for all the families that were there. And yeah, it was cute. No steam, but 4 stars. Then I read Christmas Cupid by Ilsa Madden-Mills. This was cute. It was a like hockey romance, best friends, older brother. No. Best friend's younger sister, or siblings, brother's best friend. And snowed in. It's novella-y, like a longer novella, but novella length. What was her name? Iris. Her brother tells her, hey, I rented this cabin, but I'm not going to be able to go. You should go for the weekend. And so she goes. Well, her brother also told his teammate Kyler to go to said cabin. So the brother like orchestrated them being together. And yeah, it was cute. There was an adorable animal. And why didn't I write the animal's name down? It was Puck and something else. I can't remember now. But yeah, he had like 2 names. Puck and Rob or something like that. Something like random. But yeah, it was cute. I gave it 3.5 stars. Then I read Even If It Hurts by Marni Mann. This, again, I just didn't love it. I think originally I had given it 4 stars, but like the more I think about it, the more it's like 3. It was a love triangle between Chloe, Oliver, and Lance, and so it's told in like multiple parts. I also read this for the vlog where I read Even If It Hurts, and it's told in like part 1 where Chloe meets Oliver while she's studying abroad. Then she has to go back to America. Part 2, she meets and falls in love with Lance. Part 3, Oliver comes back into the picture, and then part 4 was who she chose. So yeah, it was cute. Or it wasn't cute. I don't know. It was fine. Like, I don't know. I just didn't love it. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. Then I read The 12 Slaves of Christmas. This was a cozy mystery that was on Audible Plus. I just wanted an audiobook. I was like in a mood for something that wasn't, like, I've been in like a Christmas mood, but I wanted something that wasn't super romancy, but also like wasn't like a like thriller or horror or anything like that. I just wanted something like that was still like lighthearted, but a little bit more than just a romance, because I had been reading quite a few Christmas romances at the time. And so this was a Holly. She goes back to her family's Christmas tree farm, and there she ends up discovering a dead body, and she gets embroiled into the whole investigation. She falls in love with the cop that's investigating, detective that's investigating, you know, all that fun stuff. Very much like Hallmark movie-esque. Then I read A Little Magic by Lindsey Lanza, and this is a small town brother's best friend romance that's told on like 2 timelines. So it's told like in the past and in the present, and it was, I don't know, I just loved it. I loved it. I can see the criticisms that people have made of it. I know Monica from Pardon This Book Addict didn't love it because the brother was an idiot, which he was. He was awful. Hated the brother. Kind of. I mean, but it's Theo and Ellie, and Ellie has a chronic illness. She has lupus, and she's had it since she was a little girl, and her mom is very much like a helicopter parent, like doesn't want her to do anything, is very like, and now like, and so when she was young, and then she goes, and her brother gets invited, her birthday is Christmas Eve, her brother gets invited to, but they're Jewish, so they don't celebrate Christmas. Her brother gets invited to go ice skating with his friend at his friend's Christmas tree farm, and his parents are like, no, it's Ellie's day, blah, blah, blah. And so they go, like, she's like, no, I want to go. So they go, and there she meets Theo, and he kind of took a liking to her, and then, like, something tragic happens to Theo's family, and every year they spend the holidays together, and they grow closer and closer as the years go on, and then now it's like, and then something happened, and it drove them apart. Now it's like 8 years later, and she hasn't been home since because of something her brother said. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I give 5 stars. Then I read Among the Heather by Samantha Young. This is the second book in her Highland series. I gave this 4.5 stars. I didn't like it as much as the first one, but I still really enjoyed it. This was Arya and North, and you kind of knew from the first one that they had like a little thing together, and it was cute. I gave 4.5 stars. Small town, he's famous. She is a Nepo baby, but like doesn't want to be considered a Nepo baby. She wants to like make her own life in the world. And yeah, it was cute. 4.5 stars. Then I read Scandalous Desires by Elizabeth Hoyt. This has probably one of my favorite step backs ever. This is Mickey O'Connor, a pirate, and Silence Hollingbrook, who is a widower who has taken a liking to Mary Darling, she works for her brother's home for orphan children, and she's taken a liking to one of the girls, calls her Mama, like Mamu, I guess is what she calls her, but Mary Darling loves Silence. Well, one day Mary Darling is missing. Turns out she was taken by Mickey O'Connor, the pirate. Well, Mickey ends up is actually Mary's dad, and he wants to protect her because someone's coming after him. And Silence is like, but I've like come to think of her as mine. And he was like, well, then you can come live with me. So yeah, she goes and lives with him. It was adorable. I had a good time with it. So yeah, I liked it. I gave it 4.5 stars. I liked it more than the second book, but I don't know if I liked it more than the first book. So then I finished Big Nick Energy by Morgan Elizabeth. This is her like 4th book in her Seasons of Revenge. I have only read book 1, Tis the Season for Revenge, and then this one. And I have enjoyed them both. I think I like Tis the Season for Revenge a little bit more. This one was a little on the longer side, but it was fine. So this follows Nick and Shay has gotten out of a horrible relationship where she was abused. So content warnings for that. And she has, so it's like her and her 2 daughters, and it's their first like holidays on their own, and since the divorce and everything. And she goes on this date with this guy Connor, who's very young, and now it's like, and like they realize like right away that they're just good friends. Like he just wants to be her friend, she just wants to be his friend. Like they can be friends with each other. Well, he invites her to his dad's house for Christmas or for Thanksgiving, and his dad Nick he's like, Connor had been kind of like dropping hints about who Shay was all through the year, and like Nick wasn't convinced that Connor didn't love her until he sees them together, and he's like, oh no, they are just really good friends. And Connor was like hyping her up to his dad because he wanted them to be together. It was adorable. And Nick says something about the elf on the shelf, and and Shay had gotten around to not doing it for her girls, and her girls are like, oh, but we want it. Like, so Nick comes and does the elf every day. Every night he drives an hour out of his way to do this stupid elf for her. And it was adorable. I gave it 4.5 stars. Of course, like, you know, there's going to be the trauma and all of that stuff from what happened in Shay's past. But yeah, I gave 4.5 stars. Then I DNF'd Succubus Christmas Special by AJ Markham. This was terrible. It was very crass and gross, and I just did not love it. Did not like it at all. So DNF real fast. Then I read All I Want for Christmas by Michelle Stimpson. This was the start of the holiday novella-thon. So holiday novellas are things that you should be like are wanting to be read. This is a black love romance with Allison, who is a doctor, and Dante, who is a nurse. So I loved that she was a doctor and he was the nurse. And so it's like a workplace romance. They get forced to work together. Single mom. But it's cute. I gave it 3.5 stars. Then I read His Sleeping Beauty by B-Love. This is a B-Love novella retelling of Sleeping Beauty. It was cute. Nazi and Taz were the main characters. I can't say much other than there is like a little bit of like witchiness and magical things happening because obviously it is a Sleeping Beauty retelling. But it's brother's best friend. Yeah, I gave it 4 stars. Then I read The Breakup Artist by Erin Clark and Laura Lovely. This is has disability rep. The heroine's the wheelchair user, and she writes letters to break up with people on the side. Like, nobody knows it's her. It's anonymous, but she is this breakup artist. Well, one day she writes a letter. She thinks it's great. It's hilarious. She's having a great time with it. Turns out she broke up with... She wrote a letter to break up with the barista that she has been kind of having a crush on, Jake. And he's kind of sad about it, his breakup, and that, like, because the girlfriend just, like, forwarded the letter. She didn't, like, change anything. She didn't make it from herself. Like, it literally was just the forwarded email. And so they strike up Zelda and Jake end up spending a lot of time together and strike up a relationship, and, you know, things are going to happen. Then I finished The Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Human by Kimberly Lemming. I enjoyed this a lot. This was probably my favorite of the Mead Mishaps books that I had read so far. This one was not a novella, though. It was quite long, but it's fine. This was Cherry and Dante, and Dante is the demon, and he goes to, like, visit a friend who had kidnapped Cherry years ago. So Cherry's been in captivity. And she drugs Dante and convinces him to take her away. And he realizes that she's his fated mate. So, you know, shenanigans gonna happen. Turns out, which, you know, based off of things that you hear, like, this isn't a spoiler, Cherry is actually Cinnamon's from book 1's sister. So, yeah, it was cute. I gave it 4.5 stars. Then the last book that I finished so far this month was If You Give a Grump a Holiday Wishlist by Einerson. This is a boss-employee romance, fake dating, dislike to love, all of the fun stuff. Only one bed, small town, just like fantastic. Grumpy sunshine. Presley, in the prologue, gets hired by Jack Sinclair, and like the prologue has like a couple time jumps, and then like it's a year before, like the last one is like 1 year ago, and she tells Jack, like, next year I'm taking 2 weeks off around Christmas. I want to spend the holidays with my family. I want to be there the whole time. I don't want to have to come back like right after Christmas like I did this year. I'm putting it in now. Like, I'm gonna remind you all the time, so you're gonna know, like, this is what I'm doing. Well, now it's the next year, and Jack is like, no, you can't go home. And she's like, no, I'm going. Like, and so he ends up going with her and pretends to be her boyfriend. And it was adorable. I gave it 4 stars? 4.5 stars? 4.5 stars, I think. I didn't write it down for some reason. But yeah, 4.5 stars. It was cute. I had a good time with it. So yeah, I am in the middle of a couple books. I'm currently reading Trick Shot by Kayla Gross, which is a MMF polyamorous novella, and Adonawanics by Kate Golden. And I'm having a good time with both of them. So yeah, that is all I have for now. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me some sort of Christmas emoji because I've read a ton of Christmas romances. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It really helps me out. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye.